Now, I mentioned there that I'm sitting opposite a couple of welterweights. These are the guys that navigated. Well, in fact, it nearly resulted in this duo not getting Brendan Ingle themselves here. They put a call through. It was touch and go. Please welcome to the show, if you can, Adnan Amar and Junior Witter. Thank you. Bagpipes, please. Where's the bagpipes? That's not a bagpipe. Stop. I want bagpipes. I want bagpipes because we're going to Scotland on the weekend. That's better, that's enough. No expenses spared on this show. And you thought my radio show was chaotic, June. This is the way it works. Listen, Adnan, thanks very much for coming. Junior, thanks very much for coming. We had Brendan in earlier, and let's just talk a little bit of appreciation. Let's make his head a bit bigger. The amount of hours and the amount of years he's been in there. And just tell me, Junior, because I know it doesn't really matter if you're Naz and you're in £5 million fight or if you're a 9-year-old kid. The amount of time he spends with you is the same, isn't it?
He's probably more a 9-year-old kid. It is, especially these days. Yeah, I mean, he always spends a bit of time with like people he's brought through from the start. But it's like nowadays, what he does, he spends a lot of time with the kids. Like a lot of the more season probably spend more time with Dominic on pads and stuff like that. And Dominic takes the younger ones, and the way he teaches is completely off the wall. But it works. He just talks. Most of his stuff is just talking, isn't it? It's just getting to you.
I remember the first time I walked into the gym.
How old were you, Ed?
I was about 19. Okay. No, I was about 20, sorry. And it was always a big deal for me to come to Winkerbank and come and see that gym, because I started boxing because of a Naz video, Natural Born Thriller, and you see Brendan talking on that non-stop. So I walked into the gym and the session had finished. I got there a bit too late, and Brendan was still there. He was closing up, and he spoke to me as if like he'd known me all my life. And he must have spent about 2 hours just talking to me, and he didn't even know me. Do you know what I mean? And it's still the same. He's still like, after 10 years, he still speaks to me the same as if, you know, it's the first time I've ever met him. Do you know what I mean? So amazing character. And I was just watching the first segment, and it was just starting to sink in a bit. Like, we have access to this man, like every day of our lives, and we just take it for granted. And just listening to him there over and over again. We hear these stories every day.
But it doesn't matter. When you actually see them on TV, it's different, isn't it?
It's a bit different. It was a strange feeling there, just watching it from backstage. Because
you've been there. I mean, I know you've boxed originally for Bradford, but you'd boxed up in Bradford, and you sort of came across or down. But you've been there a lot of years, though, haven't you, June? In all fairness, kid.
16
years.
16 years.
So you've seen, just apart from Herald, who you obviously, I think you probably missed, but you've seen everything, haven't you, from almost start to finish as such.
It's like I knew Naz when Naz was an amateur.
Yeah, from the amateurs,
The amateur days come through. And he was world champion when I come through to the gym. Naz, Ryan, Johnny. Keaton. I've seen people come and go. I've seen talent I mean, people with so much talent achieve nothing because they can't be dedicated. And I've seen people who were just dedicated achieve something.
It's amazing, really, though, isn't it? And in some ways, that thing that Brendan said, it's so simple. Just, don't drink, don't go out late, watch your friend, and only have one woman. It sounds ridiculous. No, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but if you follow those 4 simple principles...
Life's a lot easier.
Boxing life's a lot easier, isn't it? It's just not that hard in some ways, is it?
Yeah, it's just some simple advice, and, it reiterates it every single day. Anyone who walks in the gym, old or young, the same lines, they hear the same lines. And he's derived it from the 40 years of his experience that he's had in the sport.
Exactly, all those years.
And,
well, listen, that's enough of Brendan, because I could sit here all night and praise him. Let's talk about what's happening with you at the moment, Junior. Weight-wise, when you're out, what you're doing, who you're challenging, who you want. Let's not mess around, come on.
Who do I want?
We're off here at 8:30, so let's get straight to it.
Everyone.
At welter we're talking?
Welter. Definitely welter. I've got a British title fight, Colin Lyons.
Okay, is that?
Mick won the first bid.
Okay.
31st of March.
Lovely.
Sheffield and Magna Centre.
Oh, terrific. I love that place. It's atmospheric. 31st of March, yep. Okay, that's good. So that's Colin Lyons. You're going straight for a British title. Yeah. And what you got an English title? Is it English title against Lee Purdy?
It's English title for the vacant English title against Lee Purdy from
former
Colchester,
champion.
former British champion who lost the British title to Colin Lyons. Yeah, that's on the 17th of March on the undercard of Kell versus Matthew Hatton.
Which is massive. It's like nearly sold
big
out.
Show, I mean,
Eddie Hearn was. I was with Eddie Hearn last week, and he was just saying, it's selling. I think it'll be a proper old-fashioned sellout.
They've done an amazing job on actually promoting it and publicising the whole event.
Okay, easy. It's not on our channel. We've got to be a little bit careful. I don't mind giving it a mention, but let's not rip the bottom out of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind mentioning it. Let's get a little bit scared. Listen, Adam on Sky doing a great job. No, listen, that's a big event, and let's not mince our words. That on any channel, it's a terrific event and it's a great night, and it doesn't clash in one of our shows, so I don't mind talking about it.
It's a better fight than people think.
Junior, I agree. Tell me why you think it is. Tell me, because I agree. I don't think this is some walk in a park.
No, it's definitely not a walk in the park. Matthew Hatton is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a lot of heart. He's got a lot of game, and I've got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
I mean, early in his career, he wasn't the best fighter. He did nothing special.
His heart wasn't in it though. I don't think back then.
I don't know what it was, but probably right. He didn't seem to have that. He got a couple of wins. He got in a thrive. When he boxed Alvarez, he showed his heart. He showed his toughness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now if he brings that game, it's going to make an absolutely brilliant fight. Kell's quick. Kell's powerful.
Yeah.
Probably not as powerful as he thinks, but he's powerful.
Because he's had a run of stoppages, but against guys that were almost putting themselves there to be sacrificed. You know? I'm not being harsh. I mean, there were guys that seemed to freeze. They were caught in the headlights like rabbits a little bit.
No, but even with that, I know he can still punch.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I think Matthew Hatton's going to come and he's going to soak up a lot of punishment. And I think the first half of the fight is going to be Kell's.
Yeah.
And I think the back half of the fight is going to be interesting. It just depends how much Hatton's got left.
Now, do you guys still spar a lot with Kell? I mean,
that's what I was just going to say that. I mean, we've both sparred with Kell. I mean, I spar with Kell quite often, and he is very heavy-handed. You know, and his technique is second to none. Yeah. You know, I mean, he's developed it over so many years.
Yeah, of course.
And he's very accurate. He's very sharp. If Kell turns up and he's sharp, accurate, I could see an early stoppage.
But because also Kell's an absolute product of that gym in the sense that he was there doing mad backflips when he was 7 or 8 and stuff like that when he was a baby.
This is what I was going to say just a minute ago. Kell, although he's been there all his boxing career, since he was a child, he's got a very, very orthodox style. Yeah. You know, it's not the typical style that you'd associate with an Ingle trained fighter.
A lot straighter.
Yeah,
when he wants to.
He stands up and he boxes. He's got quite an Americanized style, if you like.
Is there a danger, just to the pair of you, and I will talk a bit more about that fight because it's a big event. You know, anything that's any show in Britain that's done 11 or it's going to do 11 or 12,000. You know, I've got to talk about on here. There's no two ways about it. Is there a danger that Kell maybe takes his eye off Matthew a little bit? I know, because I agree with you. I think it's a harder fight. Is there a chance that Kell maybe looks beyond Matthew Hatton? You first, then you.
For me, because I've seen Kell at gym. I've seen how focused he is, and he seems to be on it.
Sure.
He seems to be on it. We went away training camp. There was us three. There was Towers, a few other fighters.
Sure.
And he pushed it and he worked hard.
Good,
I mean,
and you can know that when you're with them, can't you? You know if they're pushing it or just going through motions.
And I think he's focused at the minute. And as long as he stays focused between now and the rest of the fight, he continues on his diet right, he makes the weight right, he should perform. And I think because of the style of fighter Matthew is, it's going to bring the best out of Kell.
Yeah, I have to bring the best out of him. Once you get in that sort of the middle fight towards the end, would you agree, Adnan, that he's 100% focused?
I'd have to agree, yeah, definitely, because training with Kell every day, and I'm keeping an eye on him as well. I'm observing what he's doing. He pushes himself, and he does train hard.
Can you learn from watching him and just the way he carries himself?
I've learned a lot from watching Junior, listening to Junior. Junior's always giving me advice. Kell's another one. I mean, he's the best welterweight in the country, so how can you not learn off him?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? I only watch him closely. I watch all the fighters in the gym, but definitely Kell. I mean, he's on the verge of a world title. So,
Jim, let me ask you this: all the years you've been there, who's it been the best, the most pleasure to be around, to train with, to train alongside, of all the fighters? I'm putting you on the spot a little bit. Just across the board, not just apart from Adnan. But who's it been? I mean, what learning from Johnny, because people.
Johnny was brilliant.
Yes, that's
Johnny
why
was
I said
a brilliant
that,
teacher.
One second. People forget that about Johnny Nelson, okay, because he's in that chair looking a bit awkward, sitting next to Adam Smith on ringside. Trust me, Johnny, when his shoulders are down, is brilliant. Carry on.
No, Johnny was brilliant. He'll tell you things, and the thing with Johnny is because he's not a natural boxer, he's not a natural fighter, he's not aggressive.
He'll tell you that, though.
He's never been an aggressive person. When he first used to come, he's told me a few times, I've seen him do it, he used to front like mad and run like the chicken. Yeah, but he'd get in the ring, and just persistence, technique, style. I've got a shot that I picked up off Johnny, and every time I throw it and it lands, it's devastating.
What shot is that?
I can't tell you. You'll feel it soon.
He told me a shot as well, so...
Yeah. You can't tell him. Of course not.
They might be the same shot.
Probably. But no, Johnny was brilliant to learn off, yeah. Ryan was good, because, especially me and Ryan, because we boxed as amateurs, we boxed each other as an amateur, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, I remember that.
I thought I'd won the fight, he got the decision, yeah? So there was always that little bit of needle between us, and we have to get above the other one, yeah? So it was always hard work with Ryan. We're good mates,
sure,
but at the same time, we won. The competition's there.
Yeah.
I want to be better than you. No, I want to be better than you. And the rivalry, friendly, was good, and we had good banter between it.
But still intense.
But it's very intense.
Now, Adnan, has the sparring changed over the years? Because years and years ago, the sparring, you know, sometimes there'd be a 7-year-old sparring with Nads when he was world champion. That wasn't a joke. Has it changed? I mean, I'll ask you first, Dan. Has it changed? Is it slightly more conventional, the sparring now? I'll come to you in a second, June.
We do a lot of body sparring.
Yeah, still do the body sparring.
We do. That's mainly the type of sparring we do. Then now Dominic has incorporated a lot of open sparring and head sparring as well. The kids, getting a little kid to run after you and try and hit you in the face,
that still
and you
happens.
getting out of the way, dodging. It still happens, but that's more Brendan's thing. Brendan does that, and he does make you do it, but not so much in the ring, but when he's in control of the ring, that is. But Dominic's always there. He's like in charge of certain.
So the sparring is more conventional now, June. Slightly more conventional.
No, it's definitely changed.
Yeah,
it's always changing and evolving. And
cool. So it should. The businesses.
People are different. Different attitudes are different, and kids are different. And sometimes you've got to go this way, and sometimes you've got to go that way with different kids. And they've got a system that they work out between Brendan and Dominic.
A system that works, by the way.
Yeah, it does. And we don't do as much as we used to with that. We do a lot more fitness work with the morning sessions, and he has changed the way he actually train. But we still do everything we used to do, and depending on who you are, depends how much sparring you do with kids. Because everyone still does it. It's just a way of how much you personally do.
Yeah, sure. So it's still there. That sort of backbone,
it's still on you.
Core element is still there.
Yeah, it's all how much you want to put into it. It's all about how much you do.
I still like to watch Errol Graham's his old fights and see some of the things that he used to do. I mean, like the spinning of the hand and the bolo shots and the shuffles, and you know, that's what Brendan always encourages, that kind of stuff. Like spin your hand.
That's like the core.
You know, stand square on and like drop your hands and look at him, and so I like to do all that kind of stuff.
Has Harold been around? Because, you know, him and Brendan now talking, and I was at the book launch up in Sheffield a couple of months ago. I just wondered, has Harold been in the gym at all?
Not I know.
Okay, no, that's
they're talking.
Yeah, they are.
I see him around. I see him around, but he's never been one to come to the gym.
No,
since I've known him.
I think he's one of those guys here who didn't really like boxing. And I mean, the boxers don't like boxing. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
You know, not all boxers are boxing nuts. Some guys.
Chris Eubank said he hates boxing.
Exactly. Yeah, but Chris, let me tell you something about Chris. He was fibbing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he was generally fibbing. Chris was a nutcase. He'd be in the gym 5 hours, and he'd go to a small show, and then next time you'd see him on TV being interviewed by someone, and he'd say, "No, I don't like boxing." I tell you what, sometimes Chris Eubank told. I'm not going to say lied. That's too strong, but he fibbed. He built an image. Chris was and not only that, Chris was a scholar. Trust me, that's more what I mean. Have you been? I know you've been into prison, Junior. I think I've been into prison with you. Have you been in the prisons, or have you ever done anything of those mad?
I think we have been actually once. We did. It was good. Yeah.
Tell us what that was like, because I mean, people out there now are watching it and go, "What do you mean been into prison?" Just explain what you do.
I tell you what's funny, right? Because the time I went, I've only been there once, and we went with Richard, and a lot of the big towels, and a lot of them knew Richard, and they're like, "Right, towers!" They're shouting from the cells, like, "Towers, towers!" And Richard's like, "Yeah." Just everybody. So anyway, we went in there, and there's a ring in the middle, and there's all these inmates on, in the seats and watching, and basically we get in there, and Brendan's on the microphone, he's like, "Who wants to come in here and have a spar with these lot, yeah?" And these big guys, yeah, you know, big prisoners.
Yeah, of course.
You know, meet
proper
get in the ring, and we're not, and that whole idea is we're supposed to dodge and get out of the way.
Of course, and
this guy's
not hit the back.
Yeah,
not the front punch.
So it's a bit thingy, you know, it's a bit weird at first, yeah. Big guys chasing you and trying to knock you out. But the good thing is that 30 seconds later they're blowing.
Yeah, of course.
They're blowing, yeah, and you're like, oh, these guys are all like that. So it was funny. The time when I went, yeah, it was Ramadan, and I was training for a fight.
Yeah.
And I hadn't been fasting that day, and the Muslim guys are saying, "Bro, are you fasting today?" There's question answer at the end. Are you fasting today, bro? I goes, "Oh, you know, not today because I'm in training for a fight, and I'm fasting on the weekends and stuff." And they're looking at me and they're like, "How can you do that, bro? You're supposed to be Muslim. How can you do that?" And then Brendan goes, "Let me just interrupt you. So when this is all over, me and this guy, we're getting the hell out of here, and you guys are staying here, yeah? So just think about that, yeah?" It was so funny. They looked at him, he looked at Brendan, and he went, "Oh, good point." It was hilarious.
Jude, I've got to ask you a little bit about your career, not because you're not retired yet, I know that, but it's been a bit of a roller coaster, hasn't it? A lot of years for having big fights, a lot of years having big title fights, waiting for title fights.
A lot of waiting.
A lot of waiting, yeah, a lot of waiting. But also, I mean, in all fairness, a lot of success as well.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be overlooked. I mean, you had some highlights. What's your personal favourite night in the ring? Your personal that you've had, any of your fights? What was your favourite night?
Vivian Harris.
Yeah.
Vivian Harris fight. I think the
thing Doncaster.
That were Doncaster. Now, there's loads of things that happened before that fight. I played football at Wembley 6 weeks before.
Yeah.
And tore a ligament in my knee.
So, a proper injury, not like...
No.
Oh, shoot, a proper injury.
I couldn't walk for 2 days. 6 weeks before the fight.
Oh, no.
I was in physio all the time. A guy called Derry Souter down at Institute of Sport, went to see him. And he actually hammered me, and he absolutely killed. And to come back from that, to go to have the fight in my career, the finish was brilliant, the build-up was brilliant. The first 4 rounds I actually hammered him. He came back a little bit, and I put it on him and finished it. And
it was a good finish, yeah, it was good. And he was still a name now. He was a good fighter then. He was a good fighter.
He was a good fighter. He was on a roll. I remember one of the guys from Sky who came and did filming. He said, "I came down and interviewed you," and he says, "You looked brilliant." He says, "You look great," yeah. And he says, and I thought, "Yeah, Junior's got this. He's on it." I went across, I interviewed him, and I thought, uh-oh, Junior's in trouble. He's 6'2", he whacks, and he is in
and he loves
ripped.
It. Yeah.
And he was ripped and he was in shape, and I went out and performed, and that for me was my night.
Now let me ask you this, what's been the lowest point, either fight or anything else, what's been the lowest point in your career so far? Because there's not going to be any more low points, you're going to end on a high.
The lowest point?
What's been the time when you've actually thought, oh, come on,
On the way to the ring, when I lost my world title.
Yeah, well, that was the bad time.
I had bad personal problems.
Yeah, of course.
I shouldn't have gone in the ring. I walked to the ring and I just want to go on. Yeah. I didn't want to be there. I did not want to be in the ring.
Do you know what? I speak to so many fighters on this show, and they all tell me the same thing, Adnan. They tell me on defeats, especially in big fights, not losing a 4-rounder or a 6-rounder, but in big fights, they always say, I knew before. I knew. Sugar Ray Leonard, from Sugar Ray Leonard down, say, I knew I was going to lose that night. What's been your highlight so far? Because yours is a lot. You're only a baby in boxing terms.
Well, I haven't had any high points like Junior's had.
But you're getting there.
Title. I'm getting there. For me, it was winning the English title the first time. We've only won it once, but when I won it, it was on the same night when Junior lost his title. But I wasn't feeling highs and lows. But I wasn't feeling myself that day. I wasn't even 50% that day. I was feeling ill. I got in the ring, I performed terribly, but I still won convincingly. So for me, career-wise so far, that's been the high point. And then returning on the Froch Durrell undercard, going on just before Froch, and then I just outclassed what's his name, Tom Glover.
He
was on quite a good.
He was on a good run.
He was on a good run.
So you're out on March 17th on the Kell Brook and Matthew Hatton undercard, and June, you're out March 31st against...
On my own bill.
On your own bill against Colin Lyons. British. Well, I've got to tell you, the two of you, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show tonight, and you're invited back anytime, and I'll make sure you have a sat-nav next time. Thanks, fellas.
Thank you very much.
Junior Witter and Adnan Amar there joining me. Brendan Ingle was in the gym earlier. We couldn't get Paulus Moses up, and neither could we get his man, they're Kipping. I think they've had a long flight from Namibia. Now, on Saturday, we are live from the Brayhead. What a bill. Burns against Moses. We've got Appleby on the bill. We've got Callum Johnson. We've got Stephen Simmons. We've got one of our favourite fighters, John Fane. Join me on Saturday on Box Nation for Big Ricky's homecoming.